Hi guys, this is Naeem. Today I'm going to be going through Python and I'm going to be showing you how to do addition, multiplication and division functions, and I'm going to go through everything and I'm going to go in detail using if-else statements and inputs. So let's begin. So firstly, when you do Python, you want to use PyCharm. If you go online, you can type in PyCharm on Google and then you can download PyCharm for Windows or Mac. It's pretty simple. Secondly, know the difference between an integer and a normal number. Okay, an integer, if I quickly Google, is 3 minus 2 minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, a whole number. And anything that's not an integer is a number that has a decimal. So say 2.1, 3.1, whatever. Let's just keep that in mind. Let's begin. So when you open up Python, you want to do the first command, which is always in the textbook, and that's the print command, print hello world. All you have to do to print a command is type in print brackets, and then using speech marks you type anything you want. So you can say, let's say hello world. Okay, just a small introduction. So to run your program, you can click run and then run main, and boom, it's here. Or you could just do shift F10, which is very useful. So anyways, now we've got that covered. Now let's get to it. So when you do Python, multiplication, addition, division operators, it's very simple. Firstly, for addition, you would do print. Okay, print. Let's say 4 plus 5. 4 plus 5. That's it for addition. If you want to do subtraction, we use subtraction. 4 plus 5. Okay, 4 minus 5. So if we press shift F10 or if we run in the main, so minus 1, we can see it's done that for us. Okay, if you want to do division, all we have to do is use the slash sign. Okay, 4 plus 5. So now let's run it. Okay, 0.8. So we did 4 divided by 5. But hold on a minute. This is just a small thing you need to know. If you use two slash signs, what it's going to do, it's going to do 4 divided by 5, but it's going to round the answer to the nearest whole number so that you get an integer. So if we do this, it will round to 0. Okay, that's just an extra point, but mostly you don't often need to do that. Anyways, so now, so it's that simple. So 4 divided by 5, print 4 plus 5. Oh, sorry, print 4 minus 5. It's that simple. So now, so we can see all the functions coming into action here in the terminal. It's that simple. So now let's actually create a real function. So in Python, by the way, I'm going through quite a lot of topics, so just bear with me and do a bit more research on your own if you can. So in Python, to create a function, we start with define. Define, all we have to write is def, and then we have to write the function. So I want to create a multiplication function. Okay, so I'm going to do define multiplication. I can write anything. I can write multiplication, whatever. It doesn't matter. But let's just write multiplication function. Okay, just okay. And then what you do, then you do this, and then you always put semicolon. Okay, so now we've named our function. But right before we move on to a function, I want to just go through something else with you, and this is inputs. In Python, sorry, let me just refresh. In Python, we can do something where we can get the user to give us an input. Okay, we can ask the user, okay, what do you want to say? To create an input, all you have to do is write input, and then that's it. That's it, input. And then if we actually run this in the main, we're going to see that, hold on, nothing comes on. This is the input, but nothing comes on. Nothing's showing an input. So what we will need to do, we look at the input bracket and we put in speech marks. And then we say, okay, tell me, oh, let's say, what type of function do you want? Okay, so now we're asking a question. Okay, so that's the input. So now if we run it, it's going to say here, what type of function do you want? And we can write in anything. We can write 56, we can write multiply, whatever. Okay, but but the point is, this is how you write an input. I'll give you a quick example. Suppose if we wanted to say, okay, now let's move on to the functions. So back to the multiplication function. Actually, let's keep this here. Def multiplication. So now we're creating a multiplication function. And always remember the semicolon. So now let's create an input for entering the first number. So suppose we want to multiply two numbers. We want the user to multiply two numbers. We're going to say, let's say A equals input, enter the first number A. Okay. So if we run this in the main, okay. So firstly, another thing I forgot to say. So this function stores your method, but to actually run the function, you have to type the function in. So here, I type in the function multiplication, and now it's going to run. Let's say, okay. So now that's done. So what type of enter the first number A? So this command is being given. Okay. So let's just remove this for now. Okay. Let's just remove this for now. Now let's type. Okay. So now let's type in B. Input. Enter the second number B. Okay. So now we have two numbers. So now we can multiply both these numbers using the print function. Print A, or we can write down multiplication gives us, and then we can add the actual function A times B. It's that simple, okay? It's that simple. So because A represents the first number and B represents the second number, okay? Except let's actually try to plug it in. So enter number. Let's say the first number I write is 5. The second number I write is 2. Oh my god, it's not working. Why is this? Well, firstly we need to understand that this is a whole string. This is a string, and this is also a string. So when we do AB, we're essentially saying, we're telling the computer, okay, computer, do this times do this. And now the computer's a little bit confused. Wait a minute, that's way too many words. That's just too many words. Okay, so what's the computer going to do? The computer is going to be confused, and it gives this error. So firstly, what we need to do, we need to convert this string into an integer. Now remember what I said about an integer? An integer is a whole number, okay? So now so all we need to do to make this an integer, we just have to write int. Or we can use float if it's a decimal. But in this case, we can get away with writing int. Int, okay? That's step one. But still, we're gonna find that it's not working. So if I try it now, it's still not working, and that's because of something called concatenation. That's another topic. We're doing the same thing. We're still multiplying strings. So what we have to do, we have to acknowledge that these are two strings which we are multiplying. So in the place where it says A times B, we write str. Okay, we write str, and this solves our problem. So now let's print. 6, 4. Okay, so now it's working. Multiplication gives us 3024. Okay, it's working. Our function is finally working. Now let's do a division. Now let's do the same thing with a division function. So let's do define division. Okay, and then semicolon. Colon. Okay, we can do the exact same thing here. You can use the same function. By the way, these values, they apply only to the function AB. Okay, so we can repeat them if I'm not wrong. Okay, so let's just copy and paste to save time. Okay, so now all we're gonna do print division gives us. Okay, and now we do string A over B. Okay, so let's see if this works. Okay, so now, so this is the function we've given. If you look at the signs, you'll see that the function stretches from here to here. So now if we actually want to apply the function, we have to write it down. So division, okay, so this means we're actually plugging the function in, okay? So let's run it. First number, division gives us this. Okay, so it works. Well done. Okay, alhamdulillah. Now it's moving on to the second function. Okay, now it's moving on to the multiplication function. So 56, 54, now it's multiplication. Okay, so the way Python works, it goes from top to bottom down the script. So now we've done multiplication, we've done division. Let's do addition. Okay, def addition. Okay, so we can let's just copy and paste. In fact, we can copy and paste everything, and all we have to do is just change the function in the middle. So we can write addition. Addition gives us string. This time a plus b. It's that simple. It's that simple. And let's do addition. Let's do subtraction. Define subtraction. Okay. And then what we could do, we can say now subtraction gives us a minus b. So now we have our four functions. Okay, but the question is, what if so the question is, when I open the program, okay, let's start the program from the beginning. Okay, firstly, if we remove these, okay, and we run the main, we're gonna see nothing runs because these are just the functions. Remember, these are just the functions. We're not actually calling the functions. To call the functions, we have to type the function in. So say subtraction, and now if you run it, now it's going to run. Wait, what's going on? Oh, there's a slight issue there. Okay, so now if you run, so now it's going to do subtraction. Okay, so now our next step is to understand how can we insert a function, how can we insert a method that's going to make us that's going to give us the choice to do whatever function we want. So suppose I don't want to do function, I want to do subtraction. Well, it's simple. Now we're going to use if-else statements. Okay, so first, but before we do that, back to the beginning, back to input, we first need to create an input. So let's say type. So this type refers to type of calculation we're going to do. Type input, and then the question is going to ask, we're going to ask what type of function do you want? Okay, so this is going to be the first input, and then we can type in what type you want. Okay, so that's that. So here's the thing. Okay, and then we put all our functions down in the beginning. So now if we run the function, it's going to ask us what function do you want? What type of function do you want? Okay, so let's get to it. We need to create an if-else statement to decide choose which function we want. So if-else statement, this is another topic, but it's very simple, and I'm just going to show it to you without explaining too much. Okay, so suppose if I pick multiplication, if type, okay, so first we write if, and then we write brackets, type equals. Now here's the thing, you have to pay attention to this one, pay attention to this. We are going to type in an answer. So suppose I want to say multiplication. Okay, so when we type this, wait, why is it doing this? That does not make sense. Okay, that's why, because I haven't refreshed it. Okay, wait, what's going on? Okay, so look, if we want to do an if-else statement, but we want to do an if-else statement with words, then we have to use double bracket. We have to use double equal sign. This double equals sign means is equivalent to. So if type equals, then we do speech marks because we are typing the answer, multiplication, then we have to write, then let's write print multiplication mode. Okay. Oh crap. You don't have to write it, but I'm just writing it just to make it look cool. Multiplication mode. Okay. And then all we have to do is insert our function multiplication. That's it. So now let's try it. So I'm gonna run it. Oh crap. What's going on? Oh yeah, remember always to use the double colon. You always use the double colon at the end of the functions or if-else statements. So let's run it. So what type of function do you want? Suppose if I write subtraction, nothing's going to happen because I haven't actually inserted the subtraction in the if-else statement. Let's start again. Suppose if I write multiplication. Okay, now it's applying that if-else statement and it's going into multiplication mode. So we can just type in any number. So 79, 5. Okay, it gives us that. So now we've done multiplication. Now we're gonna continue. So now we're gonna continue with another function. So the next function was division. So instead of writing else if, we're going to write elif. Elif, which is basically short for else if, type equals, remember type is referring to this input, which is obviously referring to the first word, what we're going to enter in the first command. So if type equals division, so if we write down division, then print division mode. Okay, you don't actually have to type in the mode, and then we have the print division function. So now let's try that. Oh crap, oh colon, same mistake as before. Okay, so now let's try it. So now let's see if I type in division mode. So 4, 3, okay, fantastic. And then let's repeat the same thing for addition and subtraction. Elif type equals subtraction, print subtraction mode. So it doesn't matter, it doesn't. Subtraction mode, and then we just use the function subtraction. Okay, and then elif type equals addition. That was the last one. Then we're going to type in print addition mode, and then just type the function addition, and then we're going to end it here. Else, suppose someone types in something that's neither of these things, we could just do print dot value error, or we can just write brackets value error. So what this is going to say, if we don't type in actual subtraction, addition, or anything else, it's going to say value error. So let's do this. So let's just type in gibberish, whatever, and it's going to say value error. It doesn't work. Or what we could say is you have not entered proper type. We could do that. So let's try it. So let's test that out. So gibberish, you have no entered proper type. Okay, let's try again. So so that's it. It's really as simple as that. And if we do the function again, and so I can type in anything, I can say subtraction, oh crap, spelling mistake there. Okay, okay, that's because of the spelling mistake. So subtraction. Okay, now it's in subtraction mode. So 849 65. Okay, sorry this was a long video, but that's it. It's that simple. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I'll make more Python videos. Please subscribe and please stay tuned for more videos. Bye.